Very good afternoon, students. So, Puneet sir is not coming today. I'll be taking the class. So, Puneet sir has already completed the collections framework, correct? So, all the collections you guys are aware of, list, set, queues. Yes. So, we'll be solving some problems on it. If you go to the practice session, you have problems for collections, specifically here at the bottom. You can start off with array list. Have we already completed this? No, right? So let's start this. Okay. So the problems are made in such a way that initially the first set of problems will be very easy. Later on, the difficulty will become harder and harder. So you guys have to apply all your logic and all of those things to solve these questions. Okay. Initially, we'll take it slow. Later on, I'll give you the approach. I'll give you some time. Okay. If you guys get stuck, we'll see the solution and then we'll proceed ahead. Okay. So first, everyone please come to this part, collections array list in your practice. Open the first question here. Let's have a look at the problem. The board is visible, right? You want me to turn off the lights? Better? Amman is saying, sir, your mic is glitched. Amman, is it audible now? Okay. So let's read the problem statement. So I think you guys would have gotten a list of shopping items from your parents. Your mom would have asked you to go get some groceries or something. You guys will remember or write it down in a piece of paper. But then on the way you will go, you will buy a few items, but then later when you come back home, your mom will tell you forgotten that or this. Relatable? Has this happened to you guys? Yes. So now I think we have Rita here. Rita is also going to buy some shopping items. Her mom has sent her to get some items, but she doesn't want to miss any items. That's why she wants to use some data structures to make sure she stores the data correctly. She remembers which items she has purchased and which items are left. So for that purpose here, Rita wants to use your collections array list. Let's see how we can help Rita complete this task given to her. Okay. So Rita is preparing her shopping list for her upcoming week. She adds items to her shopping list using an array list. Once an item is purchased, She removes it from the list. You guys would have had maybe a pen or pencil, you would have scratched it out, right? Here, Rita is removing it from the array list. At the end of her shopping trip, she wants to see the remaining items that are still on the list. See, basically, if you go to one particular shop, maybe you will get 4 items of the list in that shop. Next, you have to go to the other shop to get the remaining items. Same thing here also with Rita. So she wants to make sure she removes all the items that she has purchased. Okay, and then proceed ahead. This is what she's trying to do. Let's break down this with an example. So Rita starts with the following items on her shopping list. So she has apples, bread, milk, and eggs. This is the initial list she has. She goes to the shop. She purchases, I think, milk and eggs here. So after purchasing milk and eggs, she wants to remove them from her list. She'll remove it. After she removes it, the remaining items will be apples and bread. Your task is to write a program that adds items to the array list, remove purchased items from the list, and at the end, print the remaining items of the shopping list. This is the task. So have a look at the boilerplate code. I think here we've already completed the solution here in my editor. Read all the comments, basically. Let's walk through what we have to do first and then come back to the code, okay? Let's pay attention to the sample input and output first. Here, if you see, the first line represents the number of items in the shopping list, that is 4. The second line has 4 space separated values, correct? You have apples, bread, milk, and eggs. These are the 4 items in the shopping list. The third line of the input contains the number of purchased items. So they are telling 2 items have been purchased from the list. Which are those 2 items is represented in the last line. Milk and eggs are the items she has purchased. This is how your input will be. Let's come to the expected output. The expected output should print apples and bread. If you pay attention, there is one comma here between apples and bread. You need to make sure you write the logic to print this comma. So this is the task. So before you actually start coding, let's walk through the solution, walk through the approach, and then you guys can do it. So firstly, they are telling, create an array list to store the shopping list items. So can you guys tell me how can you create an array list? Array list. Okay, perfect. The data type of this array list will be of string data type. Perfect. You will give it a reference variable. You will use the new keyword and again maybe array list, and you will close the generics and your array list will be created. Do you have to import any package here to use your collections? Wait. Slowly. Just for the array list part, tell me which package do you need to import here? Okay, that is import java dot util dot array list. Okay, this part is done. Now coming to the next part, you have to read input for the number of items. So how do you read data from user? Perfect. You'll have to create an object of the scanner class, and then you can call the respective methods to read maybe numbers or strings. You have next int and the next scan.nextInt and scan.next to read numbers and words or strings. Here again, you have to import the scanner class that is again inside your util package only, correct? After this part is also done, you have to add items to the shopping list. Now, how can you add items to the shopping list? Okay, you have the add method to add the item. But don't you think I have to add multiple items to the list? Yes, I need to actually write a loop. Inside the loop, at every iteration, I need to keep adding the item to my list. Correct? Okay. After we've added our items to the shopping list, next, what do we have to do? We have to remove the purchased items. So to achieve this, don't you think again we need to read the user's input, again write a loop for the number of items and then keep removing the items from the list? Now, how can we achieve this? Do we have any method in the array list to remove items from the array list? Yes, we have the remove method. You can make use of the remove method to remove items from the list. After you've removed the purchased items, at the last, you need to print the remaining items in the shopping list. So I think you can just add one for loop and maybe you'll have one print statement inside to print the remaining elements in the shopping list. But one condition here is you need to make sure you print the items in such a way that they are comma separated. So think for this and see how you can achieve this. Please try this out. I hope the approach is pretty clear. Please try it out. I'll give you a couple of minutes time. Online students, okay. Let me share the screen with you guys as well. So we were just walking through this first problem here. We've discussed the approach. You guys can try it out. See, make sure you give meaningful names to the variables. If you're creating the array list, give a name maybe which is meaningful to this particular problem. Maybe here you can say shopping list. Okay, don't tell maybe L1, L2. Don't do this. So I'll give you a hint here. I think you guys will get almost all the parts until removing the items, but while printing, you might face some difficulty. Anyone facing difficulty in the printing part? See, we'll make some observations here and then try to convert that into code. We have to print the remaining items of the list. But as and when we print one item, we need to append one comma. So we are printing one item of the list, we are appending comma. But do you think we have to add this comma for the last item of the list? No. So we need to make sure we print the item of the list and append comma to it if and only if it is not the last element. If it is the last element, I just have to print the element as it is. Otherwise, I have to append one comma to it. So you need to make sure you convert whatever I told now into code to get this. Anyone completed? Boys? Wow, nobody. Why? Okay, one. Online students, anyone completed? Karthik, Jashwan, Likita, Gangotri, what happened? Doing is it? Okay. Pragati raised hand. Okay, I think even I'll start my solution. Please help me out. What do I have to do here? Create an array list of string. Maybe I'll name it shopping list. Next, I need to read input from the user. So let me create an object of the scanner class. I want to read the number of items that goes inside the list. So let me say int n equal to scan.nextInt. So I have to add the items inside my array list. Let me have a for loop from I equal to 0, I less than n. I can just say shopping list dot add. What do I need to add? Scan dot next. Okay. After this, I need to remove the purchased items. So let me say int remove or number of items to be removed. So again, I have to have a loop here. So what do I have to remove here? Array, say na something. Can dot next is it? Loud, loud, little loud. I need to remove I. I need to remove the item itself, right? See, if you have a look, this part is completed. See, 4. Think this is the number of items. N is storing it. That is 4 items initially is present in the list. I am adding all the 4 items to the list. After I have completed adding, now I need to remove. To remove the items, I am reading how many number of items I need to remove. I am storing this in a variable. Later, I have to run a loop to make sure I remove these 2 items, milk and eggs. So if I add I here, my first element will get removed, but not the item milk. Making sense? So what do I have to do here? Scan.next. So whatever user is inputting, I need to remove that item from my list. Correct? Okay. Removal part is also done. Now tell me, how do I print it? For printing, can I say I equal to 0, I less than list dot size, right? Here, if I just say system dot out dot print shopping list dot get I, and then maybe add one comma to it. Let's run this code, see what happens. If any errors, we'll fix it. Okay, it's telling imports are missing. Let me do one thing. Let me say star. Okay, we are getting the wrong output. Why wrong output? So we are getting a comma after the last element as well. So if we need to make sure we don't get this comma, if it is the last element of the list, we can add one if condition. Can I say if I equal to shopping list dot size -1? Okay, you're telling less than. Okay, fine. That is also fine. Then I will print this. Otherwise, I have to just print only this much. Correct? Is this code clear? Is it working? See, one task I'll give you here. Same thing can you achieve with a for each loop, your enhanced for loop? Not possible, is it? How many of you will tell not possible? Please raise your hand. Only one. Here, girls, possible, not possible? Okay, not possible. So only I think few are telling not possible. The others are telling yes, it is possible. Okay. Why not possible? We need index, is it? Okay. So I'll write down the code here. Tell me if I can get it. Okay. I'll comment out this part for your reference. So, okay, help me out with the for each loop. How do I write the for each loop? Firstly, I need to mention the data type of this collection that we are iterating through. So can I say item? I'll give it a name item. In the shopping list. So if condition, what do I need to add here? So if it is the last element, if it is not the last element, I need to do this. If it is the last element, I just have to print this. The logic remains same, but the question arises what I need to add to this if condition. You guys were telling it is not possible. Is there any other way that I can get the last element of the array list? I know the size of the array list. So don't you think I can get the last item? What if I tell if my item is equal to the last item of the shopping list? Okay. More than equal to, I'll say maybe not equal to the last item of the shopping list, then I'll append the comma. Otherwise, I don't have to append the comma. So can I say shopping list dot get? How do I get the last element? Get last, is it? Correct? Let's run the code. Do we have a method called get last? Okay. So what if I tell -1? Will I get anything? Will the -1 give me the last element? Let's see. One second. We have an issue here. Instead of using shopping list dot this, I can just say item. Here also I just have to say item. This is one thing we need to change. Here, if item is not equal to the last element, so can I just say maybe get shopping list dot size -1? Is the logic clear? I'm comparing my item. If that particular item is equal to the last item in my list, then it is the last item. So I don't have to append the comma. That is the reason I have added one not operator here. Okay. If it is not, then I'll print the item and add the comma. Otherwise, which represents that it is the last item, then I will simply print the item without appending any comma. This is the logic. I can do this with the enhanced for loop as well. Let's run this code. Is it working? Working. So how did you guys tell no? So sure, so damn sure you were. See again, one hint I would like to give you here. If maybe the trainer, mentor, or maybe in your interview, your interviewer will ask, is it possible? 99% of the times it is possible. That is why your interviewer is asking that question. Only thing, you will know it, but you need to add little logic, or you need to think little to make sure you come up with the approach. Don't tell no sir, not possible, impossible. Okay. So okay, then I think this code is clear. Let's go ahead with the next one. Everyone got the output? Can we proceed ahead? Arey, respond na little. Okay, fine. Let's go ahead. Online students clear? Yes, okay. So the next question we have here is festival donation tracker using array list. During Ganesh Chaturthi festival, I think all of you will be able to relate to this better. So during the Ganesh Chaturthi time, all the boys in your area, not only boys, even girls, so all will plan to keep the Ganesha. So what they have to do? They have to go out for Chanda collection. That is what we call here in Karnataka, Chanda. I don't know in North India what you guys call it. So basically you go house to house, you bell, you will tell, Anna, Ganesha ಕುಣಿಸ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೊಡಿ. So then that person will open 100 rupees note and he'll give. You will look at him from top to down. You have one super bike, you have one car, you're giving 100 rupees. You will tell, ಏನಣ್ಣ ಇದು 100 ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, 1000 ಕೊಡಿ ಅಣ್ಣ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. You would have done this, correct? But after doing so much hard work and you've collected all the donations, somehow the total will not add up. You would have maybe collected maybe say some 15,000, but at the end of the day, if you count now, only 13,000 will be, 2,000 will be missing. Among your friends only one culprit will be. He would have done something and he would have eaten it. So like that only, I think here, Suman, okay, for last year, Suman, same problem happened. So this time she wants to use collections, array list specifically, to make sure she keeps track of all the donations and the total so that money doesn't go missing. So let us help Suman to complete the task, okay? Let's read the problem statement here. Basically, they're telling during the Ganesha Chaturthi festival, Suman and her friends in Mumbai are organizing a donation drive. They are tracking donations from different people using an array list. Suman needs to add each donation to the list and later calculate the total amount collected from all donors. Okay, let's break this down with an example to understand this better. Suman receives donations over 3 days. You guys also would have will go, right? Maybe one full week you guys will go. If you're maybe planning to keep the Ganesha in the next 2 weeks, 1 week before only you start today, day 1, day 2, day 3. You guys will, I think, divide the roads and areas, right? First main Nan Martini, second main Neen Ogo. Similarly, here also day 1, day 2, day 3, 3 days they have gone. On the first day, they have collected 2,000. Second day, they have collected 3,000. Third day, they have collected 1,500. Okay. So your task here is to basically read this as the input, store all these amounts inside your array list. Okay. At the end, you need to print the total. Just add all the donations received on every day and print the total. Very easy, straightforward question. No rocket science here. You guys can try it out, I guess. Question is clear, right? No confusion. But if you observe one thing here in the boilerplate code, we have written more cleaner code here, I can say. See, already the array list creation is done for you. The input also is handled for you. Correct? On line number 20, if you see, we have int total donations. It is an int variable. Here we are calling one method, calculate total donations. The signature of the calculate total donations method is provided below. This particular method is taking an array list as a parameter. So you've created the array list on line number 9. You're passing it as the argument here while you call the method. This method is expected to return an integer value. This integer should be the total donations collected, and then you are printing it out. All you have to do is just write your logic here and return the total. Rest of the thing is handled for you in the boilerplate code. See, from here on, what you can observe is code is becoming more clean. Your input is being handled in the main method. A specific method has been created to calculate the total of the donations. Correct? You're calling it, you're collecting the value that this particular method is returning, and then you're printing it out. Your code is more clean here. So all you have to do is just complete this method here, which should return the total of all the donations collected. Before we actually code it out, can you walk me through your approach? What is the first thing that you guys will do? Okay, you will have maybe a variable called sum or total. Okay, next what do you do? Okay, for each loop, you loop through the array list. Inside the loop, what are you doing? You're adding the item and storing it inside your variable total or sum, whatever you've declared. The loop will be completed. At the end of the loop, you will return the sum or total, correct? This is the approach. Please try this out, complete it. Let me see if you guys can do it. Online students, if you guys have done it, please share your outputs in the chat. Aman, are you still getting that exception, Aman? Removing part, no such element exception. Okay. Even I will code it out with you. Maybe in sum, initialize it with 0. I'll say for int I in your array list called donations, you just have to say sum plus equal to I, and at the end return sum. This is all you had to do. See, and note, you guys would have seen here, I haven't used the curly braces for the for loop. Usually, if you have only one line of code inside your for loop, your if else, right, you don't have to use the curly braces. Your code will look more clean and more readable. Let's run this, see if it works. Yes, it is working. So let's submit it. So can we go ahead with the next question? Can we go a little faster? Fine, you guys are following? Okay. So the next question here is cricket team selection. Let's read the question. Again, I think a very relatable question. On the weekends, probably guys, you all will call your friends, you'll be like, ba maga cricket adana ivat ground alli ellarna kari, all these things you would have told, one nice plan you would have told. Some 10 boys on the day before, maybe Saturday, if you guys have met and you decide that you have to play, all the 10 will be in next level Josh. They'll be like, yes, come, we'll play tomorrow. Early morning only we'll go, we'll start playing. We can play betting match only in the ground. One more group will be, we'll play over them, we'll win and come. All these things you guys will give build up. You guys will be in full form. Next day morning, out of that 10, 7 people will not come only. They'll not pick the call only. You guys would have relatable to you, I guess. You guys would have experienced this. Correct, na? Happened, is it? Yes, no? And then you guys will call, and then your friend will be like, Illa maga, ivagle eddiddu. And then you guys will be so angry and frustrated. You will go to his home. You will go inside his room. You will grab him by the collar. You will make him sit behind your vehicle. You will get him to the ground and you will play. By the time you start the match, 12 o'clock, 1 p.m. over, full hot sun. Happened, is it? So again, I think Raj is also having the same problem. So we need to help Raj. Let's see how we can help Raj here. Basically, Raj is organizing a local cricket tournament in his village. He needs to select players for his cricket team, but he only wants players who are available on the match day. Pakka, guarantee confirmed that this person is coming. Only then I will take you to the match. So he keeps an array list of players' names who are available for selection. Your task is to help Raj manage the team by adding players to the team list. and checking if a specific player is available in the list. So this time, I think whoever is organizing the match, na, Raj, in this case, he's told, see, if you're coming, please tell yes, you're coming. Guarantee if you're coming, only then I'll add you to the list. If you're not coming, it is fine. I don't have problem. He's told before only. Now later, you guys, before you go to the match, you guys will check with your friends. If say, for example, you have your friend, maybe Prajwal is one of the friend, let us say. You will call Prajwal. You will be like, Maga, ni nadak hogtidya? Prajwal will tell no. If Prajwal is not going, even you will not go. Same thing here also. So we need to add one check functionality to see if a specific player is available or if he's going and playing the match. If you check, you will get to know, yes, Prajwal is also going, he's playing. Then you will also go. This is the functionality or code you have to write. Okay, let's have a look at the input and output. So basically, you have three lines of input. The first line represents the total number of players that are available. So 3 represents 3 available players are there. The next line represents the names of the players who are available. Rohit is available, Virat is available, and Rahul is also available. So all these players are available. You have added them to the array list. Later on, you have to perform a check. Now here, in this particular example, I told, if your friend Prajwal is going or not, you have to check, right? Likewise, here, we are checking for Virat. Is Virat in the list or not? If Virat is in the list, you will tell, yes, Virat is available. If in case Virat was not available, you will print he is not available. See, in this particular sample, we have Dhoni, Sachin, Hardik, and Bumrah. You are checking if Rohit is playing, but Rohit is not playing. That is why you will print Rohit is not available. This is the expectation of the question. Is the question clear? Perfect. Let's have a look at the boilerplate code, understand how much code we have to write, how much is already done for us, and then discuss the approach and then proceed ahead to the solution of the code. See, you need to create an array list. All this is already done for you. What is the name of the array list? Team selection. You're reading the number of players. You're adding the number of players also. Here, I think we have one small correction here. You can remove this next line. It should just be next. Okay, make this correction in your boilerplate. All of you online students, offline, all of you. So you're adding players. This part is adding the players. Later, you have to read an input of the player name to check if he is available or not. See, this line also you can comment. It is not needed. Remove it. Check player, the print statement, please remove it. After this, see here, check player is the string that you are checking for if he is available or not. On line number 23, here you have a variable of the data type Boolean called is available. This variable is assigning the value returned by the method check player availability. This is a method. This method is taking 2 parameters as input. It is taking an array list and it is taking a player name as well. Correct? That is what you can see in the signature of the method. Here in the boilerplate, we have told it is returning false, but technically it should return true if the player is available in the list, false if the player is not available in the list. You have to write your code in this particular method here. Rest of the thing is already taken care. You don't have to do anything. You have to just write the logic to just return true or false. Correct now? This is expecting a Boolean as the return type. Now you guys have to tell me the logic or the approach for this particular problem. How can you check? Yes. Perfect. You can tell contains. The contains method by default will return a Boolean value. So can I directly say return team selection dot contains player? Let's run this. Yes, this is working. Is this clear? Guys, is this clear? If you are not allowed to use this contains method, what would you have done? String comparison. Yes, perfect. I think again you'll write a loop for every player inside the list. You will check dot equals, correct? Dot equals, and then if that is present, you will tell yes. At the end of the loop, if you don't find him, you would have returned a false. Can we see that as well? Can we see the code for that also? Okay. So can you help me out? How do I write that? Let me use a enhanced for loop. Maybe string name, I'll say. String name inside this team selection array list. I just have to say if name dot perfect equals player, I need to return true, correct? How many of you are telling here I need to say else return false? Is this correct? Firstly, tell me, is this code correct? How many of you are telling no? Please raise your hand. Okay. Why no? Why is it wrong? If this condition fails, maybe say the player is in the last. Okay. The first name is not matching with the actual expected player. Then according to the code that we've written here, it will return false. It is the wrong output, correct? So that is the reason this is wrong. So you just have to have your if inside, and maybe at the end you can just say return false. This is how you achieve it with the for loop. Okay, can we go ahead to the next question? Perfect. Classroom roll call using array list. Let's have a look at the problem here. They are telling in a classroom the teacher wants to call out the names of the students who are present. Each day, the teacher updates the list of students who have attended the class during during the class using an array list. At the end of the day, the teacher needs to print all present students in the order they were added. Okay. I think let's directly go to the input and output. So the sample input is telling 3, representing the number of students. Amit, Neha, and Vikas are the students added to the list. The sample output is Amit, Neha, and Vikas in the same order that they were added. Only change here is you need to print a comma in between. I think you guys have already done this printing part in the first problem statement, correct? Let's do it. Let's do it together. So again, I'll change this to util.star so that I can use my scanner class as well. Firstly, let me say array list. What is the data type I need to use here? String. Maybe I'll call it students. Perfect online students, Likita, Isha. Preeti, Suman, superb. See, I think we have 170 students, only 5, 6 students send the output. All the others, please share the output. I have a variable n to read the number, and then I can say students dot add what I need to add. Scan dot next. After I've added, I need to print them. To print them, maybe I can say if my I is less than n minus 1, I'll print what I have to print. Name and students dot get I plus comma. This is what I need to print. Otherwise, I can say just print the student's name. Let's run this, see if it is correct. Yes, it is correct. Guys, were you able to complete this? Any confusion? No? Okay, then let's go ahead to the next one. Book borrowing tracker. So I think again, a very relatable question. You guys would have gone to your libraries, but not to take books and read, but during your exam time for the no due certificate, you would have gone to collect this no due receipt. So here we have one similar problem, but we need to help our librarian to keep track of all the books in the library, okay, which are available, not available. We'll see, we'll have a look at the question. So basically they're telling Anjali is a librarian in the local library. She wants to keep track of the books borrowed by students each day. Each time a student borrows book, Anjali adds the book's name to the list. And at the end, she needs to print the names of all the books that were borrowed. Basically, the list is keeping track of all the borrowed books. Okay. See, on a particular day, 3 books were borrowed. The first book is Harry Potter. Have you guys read the Harry Potter? Okay, have you at least watched it? I think it's very similar to Abracadabra. Correct. He'll have one magic stick and he'll tell something and some magic will happen. Okay. Who's the author of Harry Potter? Anyone? Any idea? Author. Who's written the book? J.K. Rowling. Okay. See this, The Alchemist, even I don't know. What about The Wings of Fire? Have you heard of this? APJ Abdul Kalam. Yes. Okay, so let's see the expected input and given input and the expected output that we need to print. So again, very similar to the previous question, you have to read the number of books that have been borrowed. You need to store these books inside your array list. At the end, you need to print them, but you need to make sure they are separated by a comma. Let's complete this very fast. Yes, Isha, J.K. Rowling, correct. So again, we need to create an array list of string data type. I'll call it as books. Let me also have a scanner object. How do you add books? Again, same thing. You already know this. Int I equal to 0, int I less than n. I plus plus. Here you will say books dot add. Scan dot next. See, is there another way of doing this instead of directly calling the next method here? We can actually do it like this as well. Maybe create a variable called books, string book. Okay. What happened? C type. Power is only gone. Check now. Front bench, side bench. Here also not working. It's working here. You can come here. You can also say string book equal to scan dot next and then books dot add the book. This is how you can do it. After you've added the books, you can print them. For printing, same logic. Maybe again this time I'll use the enhanced for loop. For book inside your books, if your book dot equals books dot get n minus 1, then you will just say system dot out dot print book. Else you will say print the book and then add the comma also. Let's run this. Cannot find symbol. Okay, maybe we need to import it. Can we go ahead to the next one? All of you completed this? Okay. This question is a little tricky, not tricky, but you need to add some thinking to it. Firstly, let's read the question, understand it, and then discuss the approach and see the solution. So movie tracking using your array list. See, I think we'll skip the description part, directly have a look at the input and the output. You guys are very smart. I think, yes, you guys will be able to understand it. Okay. So basically they're telling in the input, I'll give you 3. This represents the number of movies that you need to store. You have first line is representing the first movie, second line is representing the second movie, third line is representing the third movie. But if you pay close attention here, you have to read 2 values. One is the movie name and one is the movie rating. Inception is the movie name, 4.8 is the rating. The Dark Knight is the movie name, again 4.7 is the rating. After you have completed reading the input, maybe storing it inside your array list, you have to output the average of all the movies. How do you get the average? Sum of all divided by number of values, correct? So you have to print the average. This is the input and expected output. Is the question clear? Firstly, let us go step by step. Question is clear, correct? Now tell me what approach can we use here? My first question is, what data type can you use to store this value, movie name and its rating? Can you use a string, array list of string? Can you use array list of double for storing the rating? What is going through your head now? How can you store this value? Do we have any inbuilt data type that we can use? Array list of, maybe char, array list of, Boolean, anything possible? Array list of float. See, whatever you're seeing here, Inception and 4.8, it is a movie name and a movie rating. Let us go back in time, maybe 1 month ago, you guys would have studied about objects and classes, correct? So there you would have understood that we can create custom objects if we have to store data which is not available in the primitive data types, correct? If we have to store numbers, we have primitive data types, that is int, long, float. See, all of these things you already have. But what if you want to store data which is not in the primitive data type? You will end up creating your own data type, or you will create your custom class. Agreed? You would have created a class of student. The class student will have student name, student age, student roll number, student salary, whatever it is. You've created a custom data type, right? Your object of the student is nothing but a data type. It is used to store your values only. Agreed? Here, the hint is you have to create a custom class which has the fields, maybe movie name and movie rating. This particular custom class that you've created will be the data type of your array list. Are you guys following? I have told you how you have to store the values now inside your array list. Once you've created your custom class, you've also stored the object, custom object inside your array list. Later, you need to iterate through this array list, get all the ratings of the movies, write down the logic to return the average rating of all these movies. This is the approach. So guys, how will you do it? First, talk to me. Don't look at your laptops. Look at me. Tell me what is going on through your mind. How will you do this? Little loud. I have a hearing problem. I've become very old. So if you talk now, it will not reach my ears. Little, you should shout. Nobody. Tell now. We've just discussed the approach. What you will do first? Tell me what you will do, then you write your code. Firstly, create a class. Okay, give me one meaningful name for the class. Movie. Okay, I'll create class movie. Perfect. What will be inside this class? Okay, for the movie name, what data type? Okay, so can I say string name? Okay, for the rating, double or float. Perfect. You can use either double or float, no issues. You will say maybe double rating. Okay, after you've done this inside the class, is it sufficient? We need a constructor as well. Why do we need a constructor? Yes, right. You guys know to initialize the values of your object. Perfect. Okay. Your class is ready. You have the fields, you have the name, you have the rating, you have the constructor ready as well. Next, come back to the main method. Inside the main method, what will you do? You will create an array list of the movie type. You will give it a name. Maybe movies is your array list name. Okay. Next, you will have your scanner class. You will create an object of the scanner class to read the input from the user. You will say int n equal to scan.nextInt. N is representing your number of movies. Now you have to read values, whichever the user is entering, and store it inside your movies array list. How will you do this? You will create a new object. Okay, perfect. Maybe you will say movie M1 or movie. movie of the class, and then you'll give a name to it, movie equal to new movie, and then inside the parenthesis, you will say scan.next and maybe scan.float if you've used your rating as float, or double scan.next double if you've used your rating as double. This is one way of doing it. More cleaner way will be use separate variables only. Maybe say string movie name, string movie name, and then maybe float rating. Have two separate variables inside your for loop, which will collect the user input values, whichever the values user is inputting will be collected in these variables. Later in the next line, you will create the object of the movie by passing these variables, correct? Name and rating. After you have the object created, you will add this particular object inside your array list, movies.add. If you do this, the addition part is completed. Basically, you've created the object of your movie, you've added it to your movies list. This much is done. Now come back to the next part. Your next part is you need to calculate the average rating and print it. How will you do this part? Again, you have to loop through this movies array list, correct? You can either use your for each loop, correct? You'll use for each loop. Yes or no? Okay, you can use your for each loop, or you can use your iterative for loop as well. We'll see both the ways. When you're iterating through the loop again, you will have a variable maybe called average. You will sum up all the ratings to this variable. At the end, when you want to print it, you will maybe say average divided by size of your movies array list. And then you will print this value. Is this approach clear? Can you guys try it out? Already done, is it? Please try it out. Online students, clear, is it? The approach? Perfect, Isha. So I will also do it with you guys. I'll say class movie. This movie class is having string name and float rating. You guys told also they should have a constructor. How do you create a constructor? Constructor will take in two values. One is name and the other one is rating. I'm going ahead with the same value, same variable name. I'll say this dot name equal to name, this dot rating equal to rating. My movie class is created. Let me come to the array list creation. I have to say array list of movie. I'll name it as movies equal to new array list. I need the object of the scanner class. Maybe I'll say scan equal to new scanner system dot in. I need to read the number of movies. So I'll say scan dot next in. Now I need to add my movies to my array list. So int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. I need to add them. To add them, firstly, let me say int name equal to scan dot next. And similarly, I'll say float rating equal to scan dot next float. Movie equal to new movie. I'm creating the object of the movie class, correct? I have to pass the movie name and rating. Now I can say my movies. See, what is my movies here? Movies is my array list. Dot add. I need to add the movie inside my movies array list. This part is clear, I guess. Any doubts until here? No? Okay. Calculate the average. To calculate the average, maybe let me say int average. Okay, wait. Float average. Initially, let me say it is 0. So, can you tell me the syntax for the enhanced for loop here? How do I loop through the movies array list? What is the data type of this array list? Movie. So that is what I need to tell here now. Movie. Maybe I'll call it as M. I have to iterate through the movies array list. Here, can I say average plus equal to my movie dot. How do I access the rating? Rating, right? I just have to tell M dot rating. Guys, following. I'm seeing all blank faces. Any confusion? No, right? This is how you have to access the fields of an object. We have got the ratings, we've added them, added it up. We have to divide it by size. Movies dot size. Now we just have to print it. Let's run this code. Okay, we have a typo here. Let's fix the typo, run it again. See, one test case is failing, one is passing. See, I think it is expecting only 2 digits after the decimal. So I think you guys know how to get it. We have printf. I can say percentage 2f, and we got the output. Correct? Can we go ahead to the next one? Yes? I think this is also very similar, nothing new here. All of you come back to this particular problem here. I want to maybe mention one new concept here. Can you all come back to this festival donation problem? What is the task you're doing here? You're adding all the donations and then returning it. correct? You use the for loop to iterate through this particular array list, then you're returning it. See, I want you to do one research. Take this as an assignment for today. Okay. See, there is one concept called streams. Have you heard of this? Streams. Can someone tell me what is this? It is a feature added in Java 8. Correct. But have you used it? You've used it in file handling, is it? Streams. Okay. So your assignment here is you should not use your for loop here to iterate through this array list, but rather you need to use the concept of streams to iterate through this array list, get the total, and then return the total. This is the assignment. What is the assignment? You need to use streams and you need to be able to complete this. You heard of lambda expressions also, correct? So streams will use lambda expressions. Okay. Using that, you have to make sure you get the same output, complete the logic, come up with the logic for this using streams. This is the assignment. Very, very important concept with respect to your work. In interviews, if it is a product-based company, they will ask you, do you have any experience working with streams? I'll tell you how the questions will come. Questions will come like, what are the new features added in Java 8? Then you guys will stylely tell streams have been added, streams API. Follow-up question, have you ever used streams in your projects or have you learned about it? Have you worked with it? Then if you tell no, then it will be like, okay, this guy has just mucked up all the new features, never used it, never implemented it. Simply he's by hearting the thing and he's omitting the answer. If you can do your research today, learn about it a little, then come back tomorrow, let me know how you've implemented it. If they ask it in an interview, you can tell, you can use streams on collections, on file handling, and all these other things. This is how streams work. It will reduce all the code. You can also compare what is the advantages of using streams. Does it have any better time complexity? Yes, no. All these things are part of your research assignment. Clear? Very, very important concept with respect to interviews, technical round. Okay, please complete this and then come back. Let's go ahead with the next question. I think canteen menu list using array list. This is the question. Very similar question. You just have to read the items from the user, then print them out. Let's complete this and then go ahead with the next one. Sri Durga, the assignment is you have this festival donation problem, right? Here, to calculate the total donations, we have used a for loop to iterate over this array list, and we've calculated the sum and we've returned it. The assignment is you need to do it using streams. Do your research on streams, streams API. You need to use streams to iterate over this array list, calculate the sum, and then return the value. This is the requirement assignment. Fine. Now let's come back. So let's run this, see if it works. Very similar question this is to your books, to your cricketers and all of those. You just have to add a comma and print it. Nothing fancy. Can we go ahead to the next one? So let's have a look at this question. It's a little hard. So task list manager using array list. So let's start from here actually. Let's break this down with an example. Basically, what you have to do is Ajay starts with the following tasks. Complete homework is one task. Go for a run is another task. Buy groceries is another task. Totally three tasks are there. After completing the task, go for a run and buy groceries. The remaining task will be complete homework. This is the remaining one. So you need to write a program to do this. Only change is the way the input has been given to you. Very similar to your, I guess, shopping list problem, where after you've purchased the item, you have to remove it, correct? Here also very similar one. So you have three tasks. One is complete homework, one is go for a run, one is buy groceries. He has completed two tasks. One is go for a run and then buy groceries. After he's done this, you have to print the remaining task that has not been completed. In this particular case, it is complete homework. See, I think one small confusion is here. Space has been given for every task. Make sure that you write the code in such a way that every task is not space separated. See, complete homework is one word. It doesn't have spaces in between. Make sure you read the input in this way and print the output also in this way. Okay. Let's try this together. You will have an array list of what data type? String. Maybe I'll call it tasks. You will say tasks.add scan.next. Again, to remove, maybe I'll have a variable called int_r to read the number of items that we need to remove. I'll have another loop, int I equal to 0, I less than r, I plus plus. How will I remove it? I'll use the remove method, tasks.remove, scan.next. After I've removed them, I have to print them. So for printing, again, I'll say int I equal to 0, I less than tasks dot size I plus plus. If your I is less than task size minus 1, you will have to just print it. Tasks dot get of I. and then append one comma to it. Otherwise, you will say else print this, but don't add the space. This is what you would do. We have an error. Let's fix the error, run it again. Both the test cases are passing. Let's submit the code. All the test cases are passing. Guys, is this clear? Can we go ahead to the next problem? Next problem says grocery item price tracker. Let's have a look at the input and the expected output. So basically, they're telling 3 items will be given by the user. Apples, milk, and bread are the 3 items. Every item is having a price. Our task is to make sure we print the item and its price in this format. This is only the expectation. You don't have to do any manipulation on the given data. You just have to make sure you print it out in the expected format. If you observe, an item class has already been created for you. You don't have to do this also. Your item has name and price as well. Constructor has been given. So can I say directly, let me start writing the code. So this was very similar to your movie problem. In your movie problem, you had to calculate the average of the rating and then print it. But in this particular case, you have to print it in this way. This is the only task. Let's see how we can do this. Can I say I have to create an array list of item? I'll name it as item. Okay. I need to have an object of my scanner class as well. Let me read the values. Number of items the user is entering. After I have the number of items, I just have to write a for loop. So tell me, how will I store values inside my array list? How? Can I have variable names? First, let me say string item equal to scan.next. And can I go with int? Because I don't see any decimal values. I'll go with int. Can I say price? Now I need to create the object of the item. Can I say item I, or maybe let us go with I only, equal to new item. What do I have to pass inside? Item and price. Now I just have to say items dot add. What do I need to add? I. So if I do this, items have been read from the user input and have been added into my array list. Now how do I print it in this particular format? Can I use the enhanced for loop? Yes. Can I tell item I in the array list of items? So again, I think the logic of the comma will be very similar. If it is the last item, then I don't have to print the comma. Otherwise, I need to print the comma as well. So can I tell if I dot item dot equals items dot get, help me now, what do I have to do here? How do I access the last element in the array list? Items dot size -1 dot name, is it? Is this correct? If the name of the current iterating element is equal to the name of my item present at the last of my list, then I just have to print it. I don't have to add the comma. So I just have to say system.out.print. Can I tell I.name? I have a space and I have an hyphen, again another space. Don't you think I need to add this dollar symbol as well? How do I get the dollar symbol? You can simply drag and drop. Are you guys able to type the, sorry, not dollar, rupee symbol? Correction, rupee symbol. So this is how you will get the rupee symbol. Then you need to append it with price, is it? This is what you need to do if it is the last element. Otherwise, you have to print this same thing, but then make sure you add one comma as well. Is the code clear? Any confusion? Let's run this, see if our output is matching. Okay, it is telling error item variable I is already defined. Okay, we are using I in the for loop. That is the reason it is telling I is already defined. Let us change it to IT. Let's run this again. Working? Any issue? No, right? Let's submit the code. All the test cases are passing. How to put rupee symbol? Yes, Durga, I just showed you here. You can select it from here and then drag and drop it. See, I am also dragging and dropping. You can't select, is it? Ouch. Very painful. So then what is the other way to type the rupee symbol then? Control Shift dollar symbol, is it? Okay. In Windows. So all of you have Windows here? Okay, students, if you have if you have the Windows laptop, you have to do Control Shift and then the dollar sign or the number 4, you will get the rupee symbol. See, I have Mac, I can use emojis also. See, all these emojis I can use. All of you completed this? Yes? Guys, yes? No? Can we go ahead? Boys? Yes? No? Okay, let's go ahead to the next question. School supplies list manager using array list. So again, you can directly come to the input and the output. You can skip the description part. You guys are very sharp. So you have the input in this particular format. You have 4 representing the number of items. So you have notebooks, pen, eraser, and pencils. You have 2 later. You have pens and erasers. So you need to print notebooks and pencils. Please try this out. I think very similar to the previous questions. You just have to add it and then maybe remove the elements and then at the end print the elements in this comma separated format. Please try this out. Online students, no one is sharing the output only. What happened? All of you are sleeping, is it? Understanding? Yes. The rupee symbol, you can use Control, Shift, and number 4. You will get the rupee symbol. Control, Shift, and 4. Guys, can we go to the next problem? Did you all do this? No, you need more time? This is done. All of you done? No, not able to remove it. Problem. Rupee symbol is not working. Durga, I'm telling you again, hold control, hold shift, then press 4 if you have your Windows laptop. Okay, cool. Let's do this problem. This will be the last problem for today. I think it is a little challenging. You have many parts to this. Anyone already completed this? No, is it? Okay, cool. Let's see this problem. Spend some time, analyze, understand it. Firstly, you have a movie theater which is taking reservations for your seats. Think of it like your Book My Show. Each customer can book a seat by providing their name and seat number. Correct, na? In your Book My Show also. Maybe I think for Pushpa 2, you guys would have already booked tickets. So you would have given your name and the seat number also. So here, same thing is happening. The system should not allow double booking. Can you book the same seat again, which is already booked in Book My Show? Not possible. If that is possible, then what happens? You have already booked the seat. Someone else will book the same seat. Both will have same seat number. He will tell, I don't know, I will sit on your lap only now. Problem, right? This should not happen. That is the reason double booking is not available. If a customer can cancel their booking, have you ever cancelled bookings in Book My Show? Yes, right. Some urgent plan will come up. You'll not be able to reach on time. You will want to cancel your booking ticket. Same feature here also, you need to be able to do it. So after you cancel the booking, it should be able, you should be able to book it again. This is the requirement. Say if you've cancelled it, I need to be able to book the cancelled seat. This is the real life example or requirement. So at the end, you need to make sure you have to print the final seating arrangement before the show runs. You need to have a list, right? How many seats have been booked, how many are empty. So think from Book My Show's perspective. They have booked it, everything is over. Now you've gone to the theater. In front of the theater, one person will be ticket collector. He'll be checking. He has to check and verify. Only then he'll allow you inside now. So he needs to have a final list. So let's see how the input and the output is expected for this particular problem. Firstly, they are telling several customers book the following seats. Several customers, many of you will use the Book My Show. It is not that only one person can use it, correct? You have account, I have account, everyone has account. So let's see what is happening here. Amit books seat number 5. Okay, in real life Book My Show, I think you can book the entire theater also. That is a different story. But to this particular problem, the constraint is one person can book only one seat. Okay. Amit is booking seat number 5. Okay. Neha is booking seat number 8. Rahul books seat 5. He tries to book. He's trying to book seat number 5. Okay, see, this should be rejected as seat number 5 is already booked. Seat number 5 is already there. So if Rahul is trying to book the same seat, you will not book it. And later, Priya books seat number 10. Priya is also booking seat number 10. Now see, later what will happen, you see. Later, Neha cancels her booking for seat number 8. So Neha will decide, okay, I'm not coming to the movie, so I'll cancel my ticket, and she will cancel it. Now, after she's cancelled her ticket, the final arrangement will be Amit is sitting in seat number 5. Priya is sitting in seat number 10. Only 2 bookings will be there. Neha's booking has been cancelled, and you don't have to print it in the final seating arrangement list. Is the program clear? Is the question clear? Requirement is clear, right? You cannot book a seat which is already booked. And later, if a user cancels his or her booking, you have to make sure you remove it from the final seating arrangement and then print the final arrangement list. So write a program that adds bookings, name and seat number to the array list, cancels booking for seat numbers, specific seat numbers, prevents double booking for same seat, prints the final seating arrangement. This is all you have to do. Okay. Constraints, I don't think anything is that very important here. Okay, let's read it anyway. Number of bookings will be less than n, less than 100, less than or equal to 100, but greater than 1. Seat number will also be between the range 1 to 100. Names of the customer will only contain alphabetical characters and will be of the length which is between 1 and 50. This is the constraints. I don't think it is having any impact on the flow of the code. or the logic of the code. Let's walk through one last sample input and output and come towards the approach of the solution. Basically, they're telling initially 3 people want to book. The first booking is Amit. He's booking seat number 5. Next booking is Neha. The last booking is Rahul. Rahul is again trying to book seat number 5. We should not allow this. And later, Neha wants to cancel her booking. Okay. After this happens, you need to print Amit is booked his seat at seat number 5 and Priya is booked her seat at seat number 10. I think one small correction here. In the input, you should also include Priya as well. Here, I think it is not mentioned. Please don't get confused. So better see this one. This is the correct sample and the respective output. Here you have Amit 5, Neha 8 and Rahul 5 and Neha cancels her ticket. You will be only having Amit who has booked his seat. Let's have a look at the other sample also to understand it better. Maybe the number of bookings is 4. Out of the 4 bookings, you have Rohit, Simran and Karan and Anjali. Rohit is booking seat number 3. Simran is booking seat number 7. Karan tries to book number 3. We cannot book it. See, if someone is trying to book a seat which is already booked, we are not throwing any message to him telling this is already booked. We are not booking it also. We are just ignoring it. If it is already booked, that seat number, we are just skipping that iteration. We are not doing anything else with it. Later, one booking is being cancelled. Karan's booking is being cancelled. But logically speaking, Karan's booking never got inside the booking list only. That is the reason you're able to see all the seats of Rohit, Simran and Anjali. Is the question clear? Any doubts with the question? The input format, the expected output format, is everything clear about the question? Okay, perfect. Now let us discuss the approach first and then code out our solution. So can you tell me what will be the data type of my array list here? Custom data type I need to use here. So firstly, let's create that. What will this custom class have? Perfect. It will have 2 fields. One will be the name of the customer and the seat number he is booking. Correct? So can I call this as maybe class booking? Because it makes more sense, right? Booking will have a customer name and the seat number that he is booking. So let me say class booking and give the respective fields inside. Maybe string name and maybe int seat, or you can say seat number. I also need a constructor for this, correct? I'll say booking, string name, and int seat number. Let me assign the values to them. This dot name equal to name, this dot seat number equal to seat number. My constructor is also ready. So now let's come back here, create the array list. Code it along with me so that we don't miss the flow. Fine. So I have to make an array list of booking. I'll call it bookings. After you've completed this, come back to me, listen to me. Have you all done until here? Yes, right? Perfect. Now we need to read the number of bookings. So we need an object of the scanner class. Please create this as well. I need to read data and store it in a variable called n, maybe in this case. This represents the number of bookings, correct, that the user will enter. How do I add the bookings? I can use a for loop to iterate through the number user has told that he'll enter. So can I say int I equal to 0, I less than maybe n, I plus plus. I need to add the booking. So firstly, let me read the values the user is entering. First one will be the customer's name. Let me store it in a variable called name. I can say scan.next. Similarly, he'll say seat number. So let me say seat. And I can say next in. Now I need to make sure I add this respective booking. One second. Let me create an object of the booking first. Maybe booking. Please don't get confused when I'm telling booking. You have to have a look at the code of what I'm telling. Booking is the class name. Booking is the actual object name. For the new booking, I'll pass in the name and seat. Now I'll write the pseudo code. I'll give you the time for you to implement this. Okay. I need to check if booking is present in my list. Booking.seat number, basically, correct? Booking.seat number is present in my array list. What I need to do? Don't do anything. I can just say continue. Correct? Continue meaning skip whatever is happening in the below part of the code. Go to the next iteration. I can make use of the continue keyword. Do you guys agree? Yes. Else, I need to add. Else, I will say bookings.add booking. Is this pseudocode clear? Basically, what you have to do. I'll give you time. Please implement this part. You need to make sure you don't add the duplicate values to it. Come up with the logic. I've already given you the pseudocode. You just need to convert this pseudocode. If booking.seat number is present in my array list, how you need to check this is the actual logic. Can someone tell me how you are performing this check? Okay. If I use contains is checking for the entire object and it will return true or false. Correct? I need to check for the seat number. Can you tell me a little more in detail how I have to make use of the contains here? So according to you, what you guys are telling is if bookings dot contains, this is the object that the user has entered. Booking. If I do this, huh? Okay, I need to compare it with the seat number, is it? How? How? Okay, we have one approach from the online student. Linear search, okay. Perfect. Offline students, please tell me. See, you guys know all the methods of the array list. You know how to use your if else. You know all the conditional checks. You know what you are checking for. You just have to convert it to code. Don't you think this contains method will return true if the exact object is present? Say, for example, if I'm telling Rohit 3, if I store Rohit and 3 inside my array list, maybe again I'm doing Rohit and 3. Don't you think only then it will compare? So will contains method help me in this case? Is this the correct direction that I'm going to? Array, you guys have to be able to do it. It's not that difficult. See, I think you guys would have already seen linear search. Sir, I have one doubt in code after class. Can I? Yeah. Yes, Nandini, you can. See, you don't have to break your head. Do you know how to iterate through the array list? As in when you're iterating through the array list, you will get both the fields of the item. Correct? Say, for example, of a booking, you will get the booking name also, booking seat number also. While you're iterating through the bookings list, the respective seat number, if it is equal to the user entered seat number, then you can tell, I'll continue. I don't have to add this. Correct? Making sense. So how can I achieve this? I can just say, maybe I'll have a for loop. I'll say booking B or book. I'll say B makes more sense. Inside your bookings array list, if user has entered this seat, if seat equal to B dot seat number, what I have to do? I have to skip. So maybe if I tell continue here, it will go to the next iteration because it is inside the same loop. Correct? What if I have maybe a variable called maybe Boolean is found, and initially I'll set it to false. Later, if I find it, I'll say is found equal to true. I'm assigning the value telling, yes, this is already found. So based on this variable, I will skip the iteration. Maybe based on is found, I'll say continue. Agreed. Else, I can say bookings dot add booking. Is this part clear? Guys, any confusion with the code? We've just iterated through the bookings array list. We've compared the users entered seat number value with every booking seat number present in the array list. If we found a match, then we are setting the variable is found to true. And we have a condition which checks if is found is true, then I'm continuing it. If I hit continue, I'll go to the next iteration. Otherwise, I'm just adding the booking that I've created to my bookings list. Is this code clear? Yes, right. Perfect. After this, we have to read the number of cancellations. For cancellations also very similar. Let me firstly read the user's input for number of cancellations that he's doing. For canceling also, I can say int I equal to 0, I less than cancellations, I plus plus. What do you think I need to do here? User is giving me what? User is giving me some value, right? Who is canceling it? What is he giving? User is giving me only string name. So I need to read that name. I have read it. We have one method in your array list. Have you guys heard of it? Remove if method. Remove if is the method name. And then this takes in one, maybe you can pass a lambda expression as well. I can say maybe B is the parameter. B dot name dot equals this name. If it is present, we'll remove it. We are making use of a lambda expression here. That's all, nothing else. Fine. Is the code clear, guys? All are blank now. I'm seeing all blank faces. Okay, clear. So at the end, I just have to write the cancellation part is done. Then for the printing part, I think you guys already know it. You can use either toString method here. You can override the toString method, give a default printing thing. Or you can write your separate for loop, and then have a print statement here as well. Totally fine. You can do it both the ways. You can add your toString method here, overwrite it, correct? Override the toString method, write the logic here. That will also work. Otherwise, you can have your separate for loop here and handle the booking as well. This is the code. Let me clear all the unwanted spaces so that it is more readable for you guys. Let me share it in full screen. Is this clear? No, right? I'll do one thing. I'll share it on the FirePad. You guys can type this link. You will get the link to the FirePad. Just type firepad.io.this. For online students, I'll share the solution in the chat. Please don't edit the code. You can type this in your browser, you will get it. Did you all get it? Firstly, see, type FirePad here. If you type FirePad, you will get this link. Click on this link, click on private pad. You just have to change this part. Hash, you have to type whatever I've given here. PCQ9HZV802. If you type it, you will also get this. Hit enter and do a refresh. You'll be able to see the code. What happened? Someone's deleted the code, is it? I have pasted it again. Have a look. Clear? Guys, did you get it? Still no. Arey, you just have to type this in your browser, huh? You will get it. Please don't do any spelling mistake. God, what is happening? Guys, did you get it? Are you able to see the FirePad solution? Okay, cool. What happened? Why? Type that same link now. Puneet sir have any link where he shares notes to you? I'll paste it there if you already have that link. Some bit.ly, some link he'll have now. Do you have that link? I think this is 8-0, not 8-0. 8-0, not 0. Okay, okay, Anusha. So I think the online students will get it. For the offline students, they have to type it. Got it? All of you? Okay, then I think we'll end the class here. If you guys have any doubts, you are free to ask in any of the problems, any of the concepts that we've discussed today. I think one main assignment that I've given you is about Streams API, how you can use Streams and solve the second question, festival donation tracker. This is the thing I told. You need to come up with an approach to make sure you implement this logic using Streams. I'm stressing this very, very, very important. I can't stress this more. You guys need to be able to know how to create strings. Okay. Online students, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, you can drop off. I think Nandini was one student who wanted to show some code and asked out. You can ask. I'm here. Okay, Nandini. Others, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Yes, Jashwant, what is your query? Yes, Nandini, that is the solution. Try it out, run it, let me see if it's working. Just one the saying recordings of annotation and GDBC uploaded of June batch, sir. But the concept is correct only, right? Just one. Any mismatch with the concept? No, right? Okay then, guys, I'll be ending the meeting. Have a good day. Please complete your assignment on streams.